What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, the Bad Diggity Dizzle, back with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I kind of want to talk about a topic that some Giants fans have mentioned, and we were actually asked about this last night in the live stream, and that is about Trevor Lawrence being a New York Giant next year. I forgot exactly who asked the question, and I know Entertainer mentioned this on his Instagram live stream. A lot of talk about Trevor Lawrence and the New York Giants if Daniel Jones has a bad year too. A few things about that. Number one, that's not as far-fetched as it may seem to some people. And the reason I say this, the reason I answered this the way I did last night, is because if the Giants are picking number one overall, Dave Gettleman will be gone. There's no doubt about that. If the Giants finish 2-14, 1-15, and they're picking first overall, they're not keeping Dave Gettleman here. We've all discussed, even though Dave Gettleman has taken over a really bad situation here in New York, and he was told that he was supposed to try to win in 2018, which is why he brought in Nate Solder, which is why he traded for Alec Ogletree, which is why he drafted Saquon Barkley. He was told by ownership that you're going to try to win this year for Eli Manning. Hard to do that when you're a really bad team and you're trying to rebuild and win at the same time. We know that doesn't work. So seriously, this is year two of a rebuild. When you are rebuilding a franchise, you start with a franchise quarterback, which we took Daniel Jones last year. But there's no doubt about it. The results have not been there since Dave Gettleman's taken over. You know, we've picked second second wasn't his fault. We've picked sixth and fourth in his tenure here. And obviously we went and addressed the offensive line, which is a good thing. I do think that the Giants will be a lot better this season than they were the last 3 years. But at the same time, I still don't think we're a great team. But ownership is growing impatient. Again, hard to blame Dave Gettleman. I know a lot of people want to blame Dave Gettleman for everything wrong that happens with the Giants, but ownership has a big part in us being such a bad franchise. They are the main culprit, the main reason that we are a really bad franchise, or have been for the last 3 years. They held on to Jerry Reese too long. They fired Tom Coughlin too soon, in my opinion, or they should have fired them both at the same time. Then they brought in McAdoo, then they fired them both, then they brought in Sherman, now they fired Sherman. If they have a bad year, they fire Gettleman. Again, this is complete and utter disarray. This is what has plagued the Knicks for the last 20 years. It's the fact that they continuously change over the roster, change over the GM, change over the coach, and none of it matters because you can't build any stability. So no matter how good or bad we are, I would like Gettleman to stay, but the fact of the matter is, if we go 2-14 and pick number one overall, Dave Gettleman will not be here. When you bring in a new GM, and OGR Sports has mentioned this a number of times, you are starting over. And a new GM may say, well, you know what? Daniel Jones isn't my guy. I didn't draft him. I want Trevor Lawrence. This is really not that far-fetched if the Giants are 2-14 that they could go Trevor Lawrence, because most GMs want to build a team their own way. We all know that Dave Gettleman came in here and has gotten rid of most of Jerry Reese's draft picks. You know, there's not many left here. I think Dalvin Tomlinson is a Reese pick. Wayne Gallman is a Reese pick. Shepard is a Reese pick. And Evan Engram. Other than that, I don't believe there's a first-round pick from Jerry Reese's tenure here outside of Evan Engram. So, obviously, he did what he could to get rid of everybody, including Odell Beckham. So there's, no denying that a new GM could come in here and want to do the same thing. I mean, you look at what they did over in Arizona, although it was the same GM. They brought in a new coach in Cliff Kingsbury, and he wanted Kyler Murray. This was a year after the Cardinals traded up, I believe from 15th to 10th, and they gave up a 7th and 3rd round pick to move up to get Josh Rosen, and they immediately got rid of him and took Kyler Murray number one overall. So it really isn't far-fetched to think that Trevor Lawrence could be a New York Giant if they are the worst team in the NFL this year. It's not that far-fetched. I don't think we are going to be picking first overall because, like I said, I see this team winning 6 games, and optimistically, their ceiling could be 9 because in my prediction video, I have us getting swept by the Eagles and Cowboys. I also have us losing to the Cardinals. But there's definitely 3 wins there that could definitely happen. We could definitely beat the Cardinals. I just didn't pick us to beat them, and I think we could definitely split with the Eagles and Cowboys. And again, until we can beat them, I'm not going to be able to say we're going to. But there are definitely games I think we can win. There's definitely more winnable games on the schedule than I predicted us winning. So they could easily be 9-7. This is a team that I believe is between 6 and 9 wins and going in the right direction. But if for whatever reason they fall off, Daniel Jones doesn't perform well, and this team goes 2-14, Trevor Lawrence isn't out of the question. So it's just something I was thinking about. When we were talking about it last night. Again, I always like to hear your comments on the matter. So if you haven't done so, again, you made it this far, please please subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments section. Is it possible Trevor Lawrence is a Giant in 2021? Until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. It's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I am gone. Peace!